friends, and welcome back to another video. So today I thought I would just share with you what books that I have currently on my March TBR. So these are books that I plan on reading in the month of March. As we are drawing to a close with the month of February, I just wanted to update you on books that I plan on reading this next month. So the following books are the ones that I plan on reading. So the first book that I plan on reading is Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone by Diana Gabaldon. Yes, this is the hardcover of this book, and I have the mass markets for all the other ones, but I have the hardcover for this one because I bought it when it was coming out. I think I will absolutely read this in the month of March. I've been devouring the Outlander series for the last year or so, actually the last 6 months, and I read Written in My Own Heart's Blood at the beginning of February. It leaves off on a cliffhanger that really leaves you hungry for Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. So I think that this will be one that I will definitely be reading in the month of March. It is one of my 25 books to read in 2025 as well, so that'll knock that off as well. And this is a beast of a book. This is like probably almost 1,000 pages. All of Diana Gabaldon's books have been about 1,000 pages, so this will take me a while to read in the month of March, but I think that I will be able to finish it then. So this is one that I plan on picking up. The next book that I plan on picking up is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and this is about a young girl named Brit. She is 16 and she wants to be a rapper. That's always been her biggest life ambition, but she faces a lot of challenges because she comes from a very impoverished background. Her mom ends up losing her job in this book, and she just really wants to be a rapper, but she eventually finds herself in the middle of this controversy because one of her songs gets a lot of attention, but for a negative reason, for not a good reason. So she has to deal with all of that. I think that I will really enjoy this story, especially because I read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas and I really enjoyed that. So I just want to go back through and read all of her backlisted titles, including this one. And this is just the only one that I own currently physically, so I do want to pick this up because I do want to cut down on the physical books that I have in my TBR. And I also believe this is one of the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is on that list. If not, I still want to read this anyway, and I think that I will really love this story and it will be very impactful. All right, so the last physical book that I have is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. I also plan on reading this in the month of March, and it is following these two sisters. One of them lives as a Black woman and identifies in her everyday life like that. She married a Black man, she lives a life very much rooted within the Black community, and the other one passes as white. So I don't think her husband knows that she is Black, but we kind of get to see the two stories and how the lives of these two sisters are very different. And I think this would be a really interesting one to read. I've been meaning to read this one for literal years. I've had it since like 2020 or 2021, and it's just been sitting on my TBR. So this is definitely one that I want to be reading in the month of March. I think this will be a very powerful, poignant read that will stick with me for a very long time. All right, so the next book that I want to read is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and this is following this woman in her 20s who doesn't really believe in magic. She doesn't really believe in anything special. She lives in New York City, but she doesn't think that love exists, that any of that exists. But it's about her encountering this person that travels through time from the 70s, and it's like this rocker chick girl. So I think it's going to be a very cute sapphic romance. It's one that I've been meaning to read for a while. I think this is another one from my list of 25 books to read in 2025. So I'd absolutely love to get to this one in the month of March. And I would be listening to this one on audio, so I can have some audio and physical reads going on at the same time. I always do a mix of that because I just can't read so many books physically at once. But I do plan on listening to this one from Libro FM, and I hope to get to this one in the month of March because I've had it on my TBR for a while. And especially since I love Red, White, and Royal Blue, I've been meaning to read more books by this author. All right, so the next book that I plan to read, or reread in this case, is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. So Sunrise on the Reaping, I think, is coming out this month in March. So I am super excited to finish reading through the backlist again and reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the first time before reading Sunrise on the Reaping. It is one of my most anticipated releases for 2025, so I'm so excited. But I did want to finish my series reread and finish reading Mockingjay, which is the third book in the trilogy, so that I have that fresh in my mind for those last two books. And this is one that I absolutely enjoyed reading back in the day, but have since reflected on it and just don't love it as much. It's probably my least favorite of the three books from the main trilogy, and I just want to reread it to get that final conclusion because I reread The Hunger Games last year and Catching Fire in January, but hopefully I'll be able to finish my reread of this. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on audio or ebook or how I'm going to do it exactly, but I do plan on rereading this in anticipation for Sunrise and the Reaping and for reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the first time. Alright, so the next book that I plan on reading in the month of March is Once Upon a Rose by Gabrielle Landy, and I have an e-arc for this, so it is coming out at the end of March, but I plan on reading it before that. And it is kind of following about this librarian and this cursed lord and this marriage of convenience that they have to have, so it sounds super interesting. I know that there's dragons in this book, it's forced proximity, and it's got some other really great tropes. I can't wait to dive into this one. I'm super excited, and I'm excited to review it and share my thoughts on it, but this is one that I plan on reading in the month of March. I don't really know too much else about the story other than the fact that it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is something that really gets me excited, so I'm excited to hop into this. I will be reading this through ebook because I have the e-arc for this, and I'm excited to dive into this one. I think it's going to be one that I really enjoy, and hopefully I will enjoy it and go back into her backlog and read, I think, the first book in this series by Gabrielle Landy, but I did want to share because this is one I plan on reading in March. Alright, and the next book that I plan on reading in the month of March is Hardly a Gentleman by Eloisa James, and this is another e-arc that I currently have. So this is the second book in the Accidental Bride series, and I think it is the sequel to Viscount in Love, which I read last year and really enjoyed. So I plan on picking this one up, and it is about this young woman who ends up fleeing from London after she has a very disastrous season. She gets into a carriage and she heads to Scotland. So we take place in Scotland, I imagine, for most of this book, and she is taking the place of a housekeeper who's supposed to go there, and when this lord sees her, he's kind of not really interested in a wife or anything like that, but when he sees her, he kind of changes his mind. So it sounds like it'll be a really fun Regency romance, and I will really enjoy this. Alright, and the final book that I have on my March TBR is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir, and this is the first Sabaa book that I would be reading, but it sounds really interesting. It's about these two like Pakistani American friends and kind of their family difficulties and some of the challenges they face, especially because they feel themselves drawn to this Pakistani culture and yet they can't really be part of it anymore, so they kind of feel split in their culture. And this is something that I think I can relate to. I'm not of Pakistani origin or anything like that, but I do feel that split between multiple cultures, like I definitely relate to that, so I think it'll be one that will really stand out with me and will be a profound read. I also think that this would be a good book to dive into Sabaa Tahir's writing with because it is a standalone novel, so there's no series with it, so it's just one that I can read. It's a one and done deal, and so I think it'll be a great book to dive into, and it sounds super interesting. Alright, so those are all the books that I plan on reading in March. I made my TBR, I think, one book shorter this time because February has gone by so fast and I definitely did not read all the books on my TBR. It was a pretty busy month though, and I did have midterms this month, so, and it's such a short month, so I think that's affected my reading and my ability to read through books. And so I think that's why I haven't read as much this month as I did in January. January felt like it dragged on for a while, so I got to read a lot of things then. But I think I'll be able to read a few more things in March. I only have these 7 things on my TBR right now, but I might try to finish reading things from February as well, or read some other things because I think that I'll be able to read some more beyond this in the month of March. What are some books that you are planning to read in the month of March? I'd love to know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are doing well, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.